Educators, you already know this student. They arrive at the nurse's office at 8:15 a.m. with a stomachache that will be completely gone by 10, 3 days a week, every week since the first month of school. While teachers see a student skipping class, the student's caregiver is dealing with an exhausting, combative morning standoff that leaves everyone involved depleted before the first bell rings. The standard institutional reaction is to treat this as a disciplinary matter, applying truancy pressure, demanding daily attendance, and threatening legal or academic consequences. This punitive pressure fails to solve the attendance issue and instead heightens the student's resistance to coming to school at all. When schools categorize acute emotional distress as behavioral defiance, they accidentally pour gasoline on an invisible fire. Severe acute anxiety drives school refusal. It is an avoidance behavior sparked by intense distress, rather than a desire to break the rules. This chart shows the biological reward for avoidance. Anxiety spikes approaching school, but plummets when staying home. The brain learns this means safety. Next morning, anxiety starts at a higher baseline, making the climb steeper. Truancy pressure raises that baseline further, forcing a red zone system overload, leaving no choice but avoidance. Every morning spent at home reinforces this psychological cycle, proving that forcing a student back through sheer pressure is effectively impossible. Since this behavior is rooted in anxiety, it rarely manifests as a single explosive incident. It hides in quiet, predictable patterns. Educators can identify these students by moving past hallway behavior and looking instead at the data the institution is already collecting. Pull the clinic log and the tardy report for the last 3 weeks. Look for the specific, overlapping names that appear on both lists. These records often reveal telling anomalies: tardies clustered on Mondays, attendance that is consistent in one period but shaky in another, and repeated clinic visits with no actual medical finding. Identifying these data overlaps early allows the school to function as a proactive early warning system, spotting the distress before the pattern hardens into permanent absence. Waiting for the student to outgrow the behavior generally makes the cycle harder to reverse, because every avoided morning reinforces the habit of avoidance. The mechanical solution is a gradual re-entry. Bringing the student back in phases rather than all at once lowers the height of the initial anxiety spike. This requires naming one consistent adult for a daily check-in and ensuring the teacher and the caregiver are operating from the exact same plan. While a school can identify the pattern, a diagnosis and true clinical disruption must come from a licensed clinician. Specifically, care that utilizes CBT to address the anxiety fueling the behavior. Partnered networks like MentalSpace School bridge this gap by providing same-day, $0 Medicaid teletherapy. These dedicated teams are integrated into the school ecosystem to remove the standard bottlenecks to professional care. When schools stop relying on punitive pressure and use their data to trigger rapid clinical support, they can guide anxious students back into the classroom.